Hey, it's me, Jimmy D, and welcome to the Atlanta race review and analysis. There's a lot to talk about, and I have to say, Kyle Larson and Hendrick Motorsports has really shown that they are back to the top of their game, at least with the majority of the team. Now, Chase Elliott did struggle a little bit, but there's a lot to talk about, including the fact that Larson blamed Logano on the radio. Didn't do it in the post-race interview, but blamed Logano, and I personally didn't see any harsh blocks that Logano pulled on Larson from the footage from the coverage on Fox that would show that. It just seemed like Kyle's car was getting a little bit less grip than Blaney's there late in the run for Blaney to catch Kyle and then ultimately pass him for the win. Blaney had a great car all day, but the thing is, Kyle Larson was the star of the field. I mean, Kyle Larson not only won stage 1 and stage 2, but at one point had over an 11-second lead on second place, and then it was only 11 seconds between second and 10th. That is how amazing of a job Kyle Larson did this weekend at Atlanta. Stewart Racing continues to struggle. Kevin Harvick had a flat tire right after the competition caution and had to pit right there a lap before they went green. Ran a lap down the most of the race, but was able to come home with a top 10 finish. That's just Kevin Harvick's driving ability right there. Stewart Racing, they should be worrying right now because they 100% are not running the way they should be. Stewart Racing, Kevin Harvick and Stewart Racing has been the lead car across the board, and they're just struggling. Everyone on that team has been struggling. I've mentioned it in each race review we've had, and it's just it's out of the ordinary. And they really need to step up their game soon, or they're going to be left behind, because there are a lot of teams showing up to the racetrack each and every week ready to fight. I mean, at one point, pretty much the entire top 10 was pretty much a different team. Like, I think Penske had 2 cars and Hendrick had 2 there. But everyone else was different. You had Suarez, you had Austin Dillon with RCR, you had De Benedetto with Wood Brothers. I mean, you had a lot of teams running up front. In fact, you had Roush Fenway running up there as well, and just an awesome job all around. I do want to mention one thing, and I don't know if you noticed it, but please let me know in the comments if you did. The 17 car Buescher, at one point, they showed him, because he was making his way through the pack with Kyle Busch, and this man looked like he thought about dumping the 18, but he ultimately didn't, because he was all rubbing up on the bumper of that 18 car, and it looked like he was about to dump him. Let me know what your thoughts on that are in the comments below. He did a fantastic job. They had one of the fastest pit stops of the year. I mean, he was second fast, I believe, Mike Joy said. That's fantastic. I mean, we have a great all-star season. Fox says it's the best season ever, and it's really showing to be a fantastic season. We're getting amazing racing. We're getting different people up front. Kyle Larson looked like he was going to be the first person to be a repeat winner for the year, but ultimately not. Mike Joy has been saying that there could be 16 drivers at least win this year when we get to the playoffs, and I honestly believe it. We are going to get a lot of different winners this season, especially with the amazing top 10 teams. I mean, the different teams we had in the top 10 over the past race. I mean, alone the past few races, they really come to show. Another team that ultimately I wish they really need to step up with Stewart Racing, honestly, is 2311. I spoke on it last week saying that Bubba Wallace really needs to show better performance in terms of finishing these races. And at one point he was running around 13th, but ultimately dropped back to finish 16th. That's not the runs that this team needs. They brought big names to the sport, and ultimately they're just not showing anything. They're able to run up in near the top 10 today, but wasn't able to push through. Daniel Suarez, I have to give a big round of applause to Daniel. He fought so hard at the end of stage 1 to stay on the lead lap. Ultimately did. They came down pit road and then ran in the top 10 for the rest of the race until the last green flag pit stops was speeding on pit road, and ultimately they finished 17th. They had an amazing run going, and it's very sad to see that they weren't able to capitalize on that. So let's go through the top 10 this week at Atlanta. You have Ryan Blaney finishing with the win. Fantastic job by them. Kyle Larson absolutely dominated this race. Comes home second. Another Hendrick car, Alex Bowman. Great to see that car. I love the neon look on that car. Finished third. Denny Hamlin fourth. Denny Hamlin was struggling there in the middle, stage 2. Good to see him come back up. Fifth place, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch, again, came through the pack. Finished fifth. Austin Dillon. Good to see RCR run up towards the front. Sixth place, Chris Buescher. Fantastic to see Roush Fenway pulling a top 10 with the 17 car in seventh. William Byron finishes 8th. Martin Truex Jr. finishes 9th. He had a little run-in with Brad Keselowski, where he really slowed up, hit Brad, and ultimately cost Brad a good finish at all. Kevin Harvick comes home 10th. That's just Harvick's driving ability. Able to bring home the car in 10th place. Was a lap down pretty much the whole race. They really have to step it up. I know, like, it might look like I'm a little biased because Harvick is my driver, but ultimately that whole Stewart Haas racing team needs to step it up. The other teams they're going to blow your doors off if you keep going the way they are. Matty D finishes 11th. Definitely wish he would have had a stronger finish because they were running in the top 5 for the majority of the race. Ultimately comes home 11th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., good run by him. 12th place. Some notable finishes. You have Kurt Busch finishing 39th after a collision with Denny Hamlin on a restart. No one's fault, really. Kurt kind of blamed Hamlin a little bit, just saying, hey, it's a 500-mile race. Like, let's not do this on a restart. But sad finish by them. Chase Elliott finishes 38th after he lost an engine. So let me know what you thought of this race. We're going to be covering the dirt race next week. Cannot wait. First time NASCAR has run on dirt since 1970. It's going to be an exciting race. That damn splitter is off the car. It's going to be good. So let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. And like always, I will see you in the next one. Later.